Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Third time is the charm. 2vement podcast. We are your hosts, the Vengeful One and DVD. Well, I'm DVD. The other guy is the Vengeful One. Today, we have a very special guest. Not only is he special because he's our first interviewee, but because he is none other than Painful Mercy, the creator of the WWE Champions Guide site. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm glad to be part of it.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. Before we get into this, I just want to thank you on behalf of the entire Champions community for actually creating a resource that has been very helpful and an invaluable asset to so many people. So on behalf of all of us, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be providing this kind of service.
I can definitely agree to that. I'll safely say I'm known in my faction as like the Wikipedia, the guy that knows things. The truth is, all I do is I go to the guide and I just dig around. I figure out which is the best, best bag to buy, to get whichever token, all that stuff. But the truth is that I probably, without the guide, I probably would have wasted so many resources in this game, gotten sick of it, and quit. If not for you helping us out, so appreciate it very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Let's start from the beginning. Have you always been a wrestling fan your whole life?
Yes, I have. Ever since I was like 10 years old. And now I'm 32, by the way. So it's like, so it's 22 years of my life with nothing but love for pro wrestling. Although I like the Attitude Era much more than the PG. But nowadays I only watch the major pay-per-views, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble. But yeah, I mean, I was really a big fan of the Attitude Era. And in the region, it's really difficult to get this kind of sport because I know in the United States, it's a little bit different than where I live, where you guys can see it live. But for us, we get to see it taped like 2 or 3 weeks later, so I'm always late to watch the events. But yeah, I mean, I remember the early days; they were fun.
Oh, so even with like the WWE Network and YouTube and stuff of that nature, you still see it 3 weeks later?
No. I wasn't talking about the modern era. I was talking about yeah. I was talking about when was it? 1990.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, 1998, 1997. That timeline where like the internet was just starting out, and like the thing that was really popular in my region was VHS tapes.
Yes.
So yeah, I would just go out and I was able to they used to rent those tapes out. So we just put a deposit, which is equal to $30 or whatever, yeah. And then that's just the deposit. But then you rent it like for $2 per day for each VHS tape.
Wow.
Yeah. That's actually kind of reminiscent of my early days watching the game. I'm 34, so not that much older than you, but I started watching a little bit earlier. But I remember in the late 80s, early 90s, where my dad and I would watch Saturday Night Main Event or WWF Superstars back in the day, and just on like twisting the antenna outside to get like a decent picture on the screen. And every match was some guy against a jobber, so there was like nothing actually good about it. But when the pay-per-views came around, we couldn't afford to watch it live because my parents are grad students, so we would wait until the grocery store had it on VHS like 3 months later, and then we would enjoy it then. But I think there was something charming about that because you'd have a pay-per-view every 4 months, and then you'd have to wait another 3 months to see it. So I think it'd be harder if we had like these monthly pay-per-views and then had to wait 3 months. You'd have no idea what's going on. But it was a different world. It definitely made it more of an event when it was so rare.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm going to chime in since we all sharing boyhood stories. I didn't like wrestling growing up, to be honest. I had no concept of what it was, just a bunch of men in underwear fighting. My dad was the one who would watch it on VHS, and he would try to get me to watch it, but I was just not interested. And somewhere along the line, he would force me to watch it, and I saw Hulk Hogan. And like every other kid, you fall in love with Hulk Hogan. And it became this thing where he would try to get me to watch. It was like, I'm not going to watch unless Hulk Hogan is on. And it came to a point where he would actually lie to me that Hulk Hogan was going to be on. And like back in the days, you didn't really see those big stars that frequently. Like it'll be like mostly jobbers or mid-carders. Like when you see a big guy like Hogan or whoever was the champ, it was like something special. So he would just frequently lie to me, Hulk Hogan is going to be on. Just wait for it. Like 2-3 hours later, no Hulk Hogan. And this just became a running theme until eventually I fell in love with wrestling. So yeah, man, my beginning with wrestling was through deceit and lies.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's awesome. So, Painful Mercy, why would you say you're a fan of the game? What really got you intrigued with WWE Champion specifically?
So, I liked. Well, it's a silly reason, but I liked how the game plays on portrait mode. So it's not so obvious when you're playing a game when you're out and about with the guys or whatever, just like you're texting or whatever. So that's the primary reason. But then the second reason was I'm a huge fan of wrestling, obviously, and the game just was. I remember I saw an advertisement back in January or February. I can't remember on one of the episodes of Raw, or was it on pay-per-view? I can't really remember. But yeah, I mean, I saw the advertisement, and I was like, yeah, let me just try it out. And I remember in the early days, there were a lot of problems with the game, especially with the servers not being able to connect to the server, and the game would go offline for a day or two. But yeah, I mean, ever since that time, I was a huge fan of the game.
So basically, you became into the game because you could play on the sneak, and your friends couldn't tease you.
not they couldn't tease me, but it was like I would go on like, because like I work in real life, like, so I would be in a meeting or whatever, and then the meeting will be really boring or whatever, so I'll just like, I'm texting, when people see me, like, they think, oh, he's texting, or they wouldn't think that, oh, this guy's playing a game.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was on landscape mode, it will be obvious that you're playing a game, right?
Yeah. That's funny. I never heard anybody choose a game because of aesthetics, but that actually makes sense.
It makes a ton of sense. I mean, I can't tell you the number of times in the last year that I've been playing the game, and you especially if you kind of scrunch your face a little bit, like you're thinking, I have to reply to this email right now, and really you're just trying to finish Dean's Daily before the mission's up.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
Oh man, this is awesome. So what specifically about the game do you like, and what would you like to see from it?
So I really like the faction feud. That's my number one feature in the game. I really like to get together with the faction and just hammer it with my teammates. And I use the other modes just to help me build my roster to be able to feud, basically. So yeah, that's the primary and the number one feature that I really like about the game. And I wish Copley would just, like, keep on improving it, and hope, like, before they improve it, they need to fix it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's the number one feature that I like.
Yeah, there's definitely there's some room to grow in terms of the stability of feud, but having played that a little bit more seriously as of late, I could definitely see it's quite exhilarating, honestly, just being able to have a varied roster and being able to go with your teammates against another team. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So how far into playing the game did you decide to build it, and why did you build it?
So I started the game, playing it, I mean, back in January, late January, beginning of February. And I published the guide in May. So that's like 3 or 4 months into the game that I published my first version of the guide. And by that time, like, you know, I made like few mistakes that I wish the guide was there for me to help me. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the timeline for me, like 3 or 4 months after I started playing it.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, because it was about 3 or 4 months before I started realizing, you know, when the game says a chance for, they really mean like 1 in 200 at best, you know, like 0.5%. And so it took me a little while to realize things like that, or no, don't level up Striker Undertaker, he stinks. And you know, these changes, these decisions that you make at an early stage when you don't have many resources, they hurt, you know. At this point, you know, oh, I leveled up a guy to 2-star silver. Oh, who cares, you know?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Back in that day, and also the availability of resources were not
scarce,
very scarce, you know. So it was, it definitely helped when it first came, because I remember there was another site that's gone now, but I remember there was another site that kind of extracted the characters that were in the game data, and we were waiting like, oh, when's Trickster Hitman going to come out? That was the one I was waiting for. Not so much like what their moves are or that sort of thing, but just who's even in the game, who's a possibility. But your site just consistently took it to another level with you know, who's in the game data, what's the current move sets, who are the upcoming megas and whatnot. And which actually leads me to my next question. But you know, it's difficult to. I find it difficult sometimes when you're in a rut with this game to stay motivated, just to even do the tours and whatnot. But when you have literally thousands of people depending on you, what keeps you motivated to keep it updated consistently?
Yeah, that's you answered the question already, because it's the first part of the question. A lot of people actually, I've like, you know, for me, I've never like, I'm a programmer, computer programmer. So I've created some apps before, and I've created some websites, but they never really took off. So WWE Champions Guide was my first project that just, you know, hit the roof for me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it got so popular, and I was really surprised by the, like, you know, how the level of growth that the website has seen. So that alone just you know, just spoke to me and said, you know what, you can't quit now. You can't just publish this kind of data and just let it be. No, you just have to keep it going, because you know, a lot of people, as you said, depend on the information that's published on the site, and a lot of people actually make decisions based on the wrestlers, the stats, the calculators. So it needs to be updated all the time to serve this awesome community.
I just want to interject right quick. I just want everybody to be aware that he does this for free. He is not being paid to do this. This is a community service. And when you go to his site, it says, if you have ad blocker, please take it off because any revenue gained will help keep the site maintained. I would encourage everyone, please take off your ad blockers so that this man can continue doing this wonderful work that we all benefit from for free. It is the least we can do to help him to continue this successful venture that he is on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not taking any money from anybody. I would just for me, my reason, as I stated, just to help out this awesome community. But I just need the revenue that it comes, so I can inject it back into the website to help it grow with the all the payments, like the domain renewals, the hosting, and whatever that comes with the website. The ad revenue just helps that to continue being there.
Yeah, those are the costs that we wouldn't think of because it is not our baby, our project. But being on the end of something that other people benefit from, people really don't know the amount of sacrifice it takes on your part to selflessly do something that requires your time that you could be spending doing something else. But because it's a passion of yours that we all benefit from, I think it would be very thoughtful of us to at least do that one small thing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. What would you consider your biggest regret to be that you wouldn't have made if the guide site were further progressed? I know, like for me and many people, we just upgraded Outlaw Undertaker because we assumed he's such a awesome real life wrestler. He would be an awesome in-game character. So what mistakes you made earlier on that you wouldn't have if you had as much knowledge and power that you have now?
Yeah. I've made the same mistakes. I've leveled up, which is not that bad. I've leveled up John Cena to 3-star silver.
Not bad.
Before I realized, I could have, but I had a choice, and I chose, I had a choice between him and Andre the Giant.
Oh.
And I just chose wrong with the amount of tokens that, because I'm mostly an F2P player, free to play. So the tokens are really scarce for me. So when I invest them in a character, man, it will take me a while to get the similar amount of tokens back.
Yeah.
John Cena, I consider him a mistake. I should have leveled up Andre the Giant, but oh well. And then I have leveled up Dean Ambrose, and also if you guys remember, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a tier list from a guy, I can't remember his name now, and he listed Dean Ambrose was the best trickster.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I just went off with his tier list, thinking, oh well, Dean Ambrose, he's the best, man. I need to level him up. But before I realized, I have other better tricksters.
I remember that tier list too, because it was basically just that one guy's opinion. I forgot his name, but yeah. Thank goodness Execution came around and made the actual data-driven tier list, and now they even have free-to-play versus the total tab. So if you're a free-to-play player, just stick to these no matter what kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to thank Execution as well. They made a wonderful tier list that also a lot of us really look it up every day just to see who should we level up and who we should stay away from.
Well, I think one of the, I would say, more recent benefits of the guide for me has been specifically with these talent up events, because when you have the talent calculator, both the talent calculator plus the whatever, the one where you go into the next page to see what resources you need in order to get those moves up and those and enhances and whatnot, what tokens you need.
Right.
That has allowed me to literally pinpoint on almost every talent up event. I will plan out in advance what is the most efficient way I can get to whichever milestone I can get to without spending anything extra. Because before it would have been just simply, like this week is Attitude Era. Is there any low level Attitude Era that I can level up just to see how many points I get? And then you realize later, oh, wait, I just pulled an Attitude Era character from Premium or 2-star or Mega or whatever. And then all of a sudden you realize you just wasted resources and points on some guy that's not going to get you to the next level in the event. And and that's been one of the most effective things, because I actually have a spreadsheet on my end that I will put, and Davey's seen this, I'll put
it's
the
madness.
Player's name, their starting talent, ending talent, what the multiplier is, how many coins it needs, and all that stuff. And I'll calculate exactly if I put these 5 guys in my talent up, how many will I get? And then I realize, oh, you know what? I don't need to level up that one guy because I'll get more than enough from this guy. And and that is not possible at all without your guide and without the level of precision that it has. It's really remarkable.
I'm glad you really find it useful. And speaking of that, I mean, I would love to hear the community out and hear their feedback regarding the guide and what they really want to see, like what kind of features they would like to see, what kind of calculators, what kind of, like, any idea that will help the players moving forward. I would love to hear it, and I would love to start working on it to help the community even more.
Well, one that I'll put out there, basically it's kind of what my spreadsheet does, but I don't have the programming background to do the optimization calculation. But let's just say, okay, Attitude Era Talent Up event going on right now. I have these 5 players that are possibilities for using for Talent Up, and then we plug in what their level is, as well as what their moves are, and then you'll be able to know what their overall talent score is based on that information. And then maybe we plug in, this is how many coins I have, this is how many. It's a little more elaborate, in terms of the user's data entry. But if I plug in, like, these are all the coins and TP and tokens that I have, and then if the guide were able to take all that data and say, okay, this is the most efficient way that you can use your Talent Up points to get, to get to a certain tier.
Right.
It might be over the head of a lot of people, but I think it would be super valuable.
No, it's okay. I mean, I would love to hear it even more, and for you and for the people who are listening, I would encourage them just to go to the website and click contact. From there, they can email me directly, and I can look at their data and their idea, and hopefully I will consider it and add it to the website.
And for those of you that don't know the website, it is wwe-champions.guide. And the contact is at the bottom of the site, I believe, right?
No, it's on the top.
Let me see. I'm actually on the site now. Let me see. Advertise here. I was thinking of actually advertising with you to help you with that revenue.
Oh, absolutely. I had few factions who purchased some ad space on the website before, and also but yeah, I mean, definitely they can, like, any faction who wants to advertise on the website, they can just click on the where it says advertise here on the bottom, and it will take you to another page where you can purchase the ad space there.
Excellent. So changing gears here a little bit, what things do you like about the game, and what would you like to see added?
So yeah, I mean, I like Faction Feud. that's the number one feature that I like about the game. And also, I would love to see Hell Mode finally coming to the game instead of coming soon. And yeah, I mean, I would love also to, since a lot of players are already in the have like gold superstars. I mean, I think it's the right time to actually move to 4 stars and 5 stars now.
I mean, yeah, I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah, the 4-star characters and whatnot, they'll really have to do a complete overhaul of the game economy because, like for instance, when the enhanced packs were first introduced, it was in a world of 2-star characters. So I mean, getting 1 3-star gold token was super valuable. Whereas these days, when you need 8 of them to go from silver to gold, and it'll be even more to go from 3-star gold to 4-star bronze. They're gonna have to rejig the entire thing, because all of a sudden, 2-star bronze, actually 2-star gold becomes the same as the original 1-star gold premium crap chips that we used to get. So. Right. The pricing, everything's got to change. So it'll be interesting when they do that. It's going to change a lot of things. It'll probably, tick off a lot of people, but we'll see how it goes. I think the first sign of it would be when 4-star gold characters, or 4-star gold tokens rather, are introduced. Because if 2-star to 3-star, if the numbers of each of the tokens are going to be parallel for the next upgrade, then we'll need 2 4-star gold tokens to go to the next level. So we'll see. It'll definitely change the game significantly, and I just have a feeling that they're probably trying to introduce more characters before they start. Because remember, once they introduce 4-star, we're going to get a new move for every single character, right? So they're going to have to basically redo every character with a 4th move. I think they'll probably release all the characters first, and then that's my guess. I have no data behind that.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about if you because that's the only way to go about it when you want to introduce the Hell mode, because it's really already hard enough for people even with gold to do some of the tours. It's not like as easy. But I mean, with the Hell mode, I can't even think about anybody who can complete it without having a 3-star gold character.
Without question.
I had a hypothesis that Hell mode would be all survival mode matches.
Oh God, please no.
I'm putting it out there, Scopely.
No. That's a horrible idea. Just like your idea to level up Devon to 3-star bronze.
I have no regrets. I have no regrets. Devon, Striker, 3-star bronze. This was before you clearly
didn't. You clearly didn't use the guide for that enhance. And now he's sitting like missing 2 pimp hats for Bray Wyatt to get 3-star silver, and like, you know where you get 2 pimp hats? By not leveling up Devon.
No regrets.
Yeah, this is where the guide saves you. We didn't ask Davey what his most regretful upgrade was, but he won't accept that one.
Oh my God. Do you have any upcoming features that you're working on, tinkering with?
Yes, and I would also like to give you the exclusive news of the feature that I'm working on. So you and your listeners will be the first ones to know about the secret project that I've been calling it lately. Yeah, so I've been working on a Discord bot that's around WWE Champions game, and it does a lot of fun stuff. There are some parts where it's connected to the website, so you'll be able to see the events, for example, right into your Discord chat.
Wow.
And
nice.
Yeah, and there are some aspects of it, like, you can play trivia around the WWE Champions game. And I got, like, speaking of this, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Haven faction, because they've provided me with a lot of the questions that I used for the bot. So thank you, Haven. And yeah, I mean, if you guys are interested, I mean, I can invite you to my private Discord server, where you can interact with the bot and see how.
Oh, we'll gladly beta test it for you.
Sign me up. Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, I hope, like, after testing it, and after I complete some of the work that goes into it, I will definitely release it publicly.
It is just amazing how human creativity and ingenuity can just make something completely organic and supplemental to already complete package, because I wouldn't have thought of that, but hearing you speak about it is like, that is an awesome feature. Why is it not in the game? This is why, you know, we need creative people like you who have a passion for this thing, you know, to be continually invested in it, that people like us can benefit from your genius.
Thank you. And also, I forgot to mention one of the most like important features in the bot that I really like is called the pull simulator. So basically, you'll be able to simulate a pull for a mega superstar, or a two-star,
nice.
for a two-star superstar, or for a premium superstar, right into your Discord channel. So basically, you'll just give it the command, and it will give you it's all based on the ads and the probabilities.
Oh my God!
I've been publishing on the guide.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, we're we're just gonna have a lot of fun with that.
Like, my mind is blown.
Somebody made a Google sheet that was like a simulator for mega pulls once upon a time, and I remember this is back when megas were 3-star bronze and below, and I remember doing that and seeing, like, wow, it took me like 5 pulls just to get that mega, and then of course, you know, the one time you're like, you try to do it the one time and you get the mega on the first pull, and you're like, man, why couldn't this spin in the real game?
Yeah, I was just thinking about it, you know, and that spreadsheet really inspired me to do this kind of thing. And also, like, you know, you'll be able to have, like, I want to bring the community together. So this is a fun way. And bringing the community playing together, you know, competing with each other. Oh, I got this, like, you know, if they're playing trivia, for example, oh, I got this answer right, oh, you didn't get it right, or whatever, you know, it will be really fun among the community.
Now, is this a bot that we'll be able to put on each of our Discord servers, or is it one that we'll go to, like, join another server and it'll be there for us to use?
Right, so I'm thinking now it's going to be both. For now, so there will be a server that's hosting that bot. If you guys want to just, like, you know, just to test it around and see if it fits your channel or your server, and also you'll be able to just add it directly to your server and assign it a role, basically just to control what it can read and what it can interact with. Like, for example, just limit it to a trivia channel, for example, or a channel that you create for this bot only.
Excellent. Yeah, I was thinking as you were talking, I'm like, I think that'd be great if we just made a channel within our Discord for those type of things. But that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. That's because I was thinking about that too along the way. Like, what's the next level here? And that's definitely a next level project. I love it.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it.
So at this point, like, what are some of the other most requested features that people are asking for?
Yeah, believe it or not, I mean, I've like my contact page. If you visit my contact page, you will see a big headline that says this is not Scopely, and that's because and that's because like I receive at least 7 to 10 emails per day asking me support questions, which should be directly directed to Scopely, but they contact me instead. But yeah, I mean, people like, losing their coins, or the event is not working for them, or whatever, this kind of emails. And I don't know how to stop them, or how to, direct them to Scopely. Like, it's just crazy. But yeah, out of those 10 emails per day, I mean, I would get like 1 or 2 emails per week, regarding the website. And I would like that number to increase, actually, because I would love to interact with the community regarding my website and what kind of features they would like to see. So out of those emails that I get that are not Scopely support, the most requested features were like the gear. So the people want to see the gear information for each superstar. And so yeah, I had this planned, but I'm trying to think about the best way to implement it within the website. So this is one of the most requested features that people ask for on the website. So hopefully I'm planning on making it happen soon.
Nice. On average, how long does it take you to implement like a new feature to the site, or stuff you're working on from inception to execution?
So it really depends on what kind of feature that I'm going to implement. Some of the features are easy, so I can implement them within within a day or two. But some features, they take some time from me. But yeah, I mean, and even before I develop them and release them, I need to do some quality assurance testing on them, just not to release any bugged feature to the public. So that requires also an extra additional time. And as you said earlier, I mean, I'm doing it part-time. It's and between family and real work, it's really difficult to schedule. Yeah, I would love for it to be much faster. If I was really dedicated full time on it, it will, the features will be released much faster than it is. But yeah, so hopefully I will try to release features faster in the future.
I know, like with us and everyone in our faction, we always wait with bated breath to see who's the next mega, who's the next mega. Is the site updated yet? So that's like the conversation every Wednesday, Friday, Mondays. Who's the next mega?
Right. Yeah. The next mega is really difficult to predict, especially nowadays. I used to get all the data a week before, so I was able to send all the emails and everything. But now I can't really get the data until a day before, and even sometimes a few hours before the actual release. So yeah, it's been difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I think on one hand, I see the reasoning for it. On one hand, it's exciting when people can kind of say, "Oh, this guy's coming up on Friday. I'm gonna save up for that," or "I'm gonna buy the enhanced pack for the people that want to do that. The enhanced pack that I need so that I can use that cash for that mega pool, whatever." But the downside is when they throw something into the game data and then they decide not to release it for whatever reason, and then people go after them like, "Hey, you promised us the Jinder Mahal, 99-cent thing." And it's like, no, they never did. It was just in the game data. It doesn't mean it's a double-edged sword, but I, for one, would rather see what could be, even if it doesn't actually come to fruition, than to not be able to plan in advance if there's something that's appealing down the road that you want to prepare for.
Right. Yeah, so I'm able to cater to both sides here. So, like, for people who want breaking news or whatever, I mean, I'm like, I try my best to stay up to date in that regards. And also for the people who don't want to know, like, in advance, then they can use the other features of the website where they can, as you said earlier, like, they can check the wrestlers page, the stats, the calculators. They can add trainers. They can look at, how their superstar will, like, the trainers will affect them and so on.
Yeah, those are very invaluable. Like my favorite thing is the Gauntlet Blitz calculator. I don't know how you came up with that, but that makes it so much easier for me.
I'm glad you like it.
I'm sure there was a whole lot of like reverse engineering, figure out crazy mechanism of how they, what system they use to figure out the next, how the difficulty is going to scale up.
Yeah. The calculators. I mean, the Gauntlet Blitz one was really one of the most difficult ones to get my head around it, and I still can't get it 100%. Accurate because it requires additional calculations. So I'm almost all the time I'm off by maybe 5 plus or minus 5 points of the actual talents. But that was one of the most difficult one to reverse engineer, and also one of the most difficult, like, the most difficult, I would say, to reverse engineer was the stats. I mean, this, like, how to get it from level 1 to level 10, for example, and change and scale up all those numbers. It was really, really difficult to come up with the formula that okay, so this is how, because it's not in the game data. Like, it's like the how
really
to, yeah. So
you had to figure that out on your. I actually, now that you mention that, I think I remember once upon a time, maybe it was on Reddit, somebody asked that for a feature. Can we figure out what the talent is going to be at a certain level? And you said that it was that you were working on it, but it was pretty difficult to figure out. And then, I don't know, like a month or two later, it's there on the guide. I'm like, how did this guy figure this out?
Yeah, the formula was really difficult to come. But
yeah, it's really accurate, though. I think the most I've ever seen it off is, I only have one character that's, how some characters have, a little bit higher talent and some are a little bit lower than baseline. So I had one of those characters. The only one that I have that's a 3-star gold max is Ultimate Warrior. So he's at 80, and my other 3 max golds are at 7902. And I don't remember. I think on the guide it shows as 8079. So for it to go all the way up there and then for the rounding to be off by only 1 is remarkable. That means that basically at any level below that, it's going to be pinpoint. And that's what I've found with all my talent ups. I am calculating down to the 1, the ones digit, and it's accurate all the way through.
Yeah, and that's just like, I've got the formula right, but the problem is the different programming language. So I'm using JavaScript, and they're using native iOS programming, C# for their Unity game, because it's based on Unity, so they're using C#. So that like, the programming language difference is what makes this rounding difference.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, but I mean, I've got the formula right, but the problem is with the programming language, when you convert it to float numbers and then you do the calculation, you lose some accuracy.
Got it. But despite that, it's pretty much spot on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Is there before we wrap it up, is there anything you would like to share? Anything on your mind?
Yeah, first of all, I would just like to thank you guys for having me and hosting this wonderful podcast. I'm a big fan of your podcast and your content in general. I also like to keep an eye on the different content creators on YouTube. So, and also I would like also to thank everybody who contributes and continue to contribute to this wonderful game. I'm a big fan of this game. That's why I created this website. So I would really love to force Copley to continue developing this game for their fan. And the last thing I want to share is I invite everybody to just again to submit their ideas through the website wwe-champions.guide /contact.html, and then they can submit whatever they can come up with, their ideas to me, and I would definitely look at them. And also, if you guys on Twitter, you can also follow me there. I usually post breaking news over on Twitter.
What is your Twitter handle?
So it's at WWE Champ Guide.
Okay.
And it's listed also on the main web page of WWE Champions Guide.
Okay, I'm on this site right now. Any final thoughts, Vengeful, before we wrap up?
No, that's all from here. Appreciate your time, and thanks for the breaking exclusive on the Discord. I'm really we'll definitely take you up on that one.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here again. Thank you.
Okay, everyone, one final plea. Please take off your ad blockers whenever you visit wwe-champions.guide. You're more so investing in yourself and your gameplay when you do this, because you're helping keep a very valuable resource alive. This has been the 2vement podcast, your hosts Vengeful One and Davey D. And we thank Painful Mercy for coming through, and stay tuned for our next episode. Our next episode, where we will have Jerichoholic 1. I would like to liken him to the loose cannon, the Brian Pillman of our faction. Have a good one.